Major funding for Virginia Currents is provided by Patty and Bill Pusey. Additional support from Friends of Virginia Currents.
Coming up on Virginia Currents, the 1708 Gallery looks back at 40 years. Artists making their mark on the art scene and making their stand on politics, culture, and society. And find out about an effective way for veterans to escape their pain with a little needling at McGuire VA Medical Center. Plus, is your phone or your smart speaker sharing too much? When ads pop up on your browser for items you've just talked about, we'll take a closer look. And we take our barbecue seriously here in Virginia. Find out about the extreme sports of cooking competitions, the Smithfield BBQ Classic, and a rousing jam session by a talented group of veterans. All next on Virginia Currents. Welcome to Virginia Currents. I'm Amy Lacey. It was 1978. Richmond was on the flip side of the turbulent 60s, emerging from the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. Local artists were responding to the political and social climate, but there weren't many options to host exhibitions free of the city's censorship. Tom Chenoweth and Joe Seipel, along with 15 fellow artists, established 1708 Gallery. It has spent 4 decades as a nonprofit space for local and international artists to showcase their work. We go there now as Tom and Joe reminisce, along with Executive Director Emily Smith.
If you can imagine putting 17 rambunctious sort of artists who had varying amounts of love for each other in a room.
Exactly.
I think in some ways, this is going to sound funny, but in some ways I think the mission statement was to cause a little trouble. Be on the edge and be a place where new things would be seen, and if they were a little outrageous, that would be better. There had been some censorship issues in the city, and we really wanted to have a place where freedom of expression would go on unchecked, and also a place where the newest and the most exciting art could be shown.
We also wanted to have a space to show our own work and see things we'd never seen before. Joe and I were the kind of building, what would you say? We were the hound dogs looking around for a space to call our home, and we found a spot down in Chateau Bottom at 1708 East Main, which is where the name came from, 1708. It had been through a flood. The last thing it was a gym. It still had showers in the back room there, so we thought that could be fun.
As I remember, you could actually see on the walls, you could see the water level. You know, fortunately they were all artists, so we were all fools with tools, and we went down there and took it apart and put it back together.
Of course, we went through 2 more of them before we moved up to higher ground.
The openings were huge. We would have 1,000 people at an opening. I mean, the entire gallery would be full, and then all the way up and down the street were people coming into the openings. I think it was kind of the place where the millennials at that time hung out.
What are now the millennials, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that word back then.
No, the boomers. And one thing, Joe and I were sort of in the minority of the group, so we were always fighting to have sculpture shows, whereas most of the painters, most of the shows were paintings or other kinds of things, 2D work. I would say that the piece that Patrick Doherty made was one of my favorites because it took advantage of the space. It was made out of saplings. They were all woven together into this big sculpture, so I like that. Richard Carline, who is one of the most revered painters and teachers at school, and I had a show in 1980 together. So I had the floor and he had the walls.
Gutierrez,
and that caused a bunch of trouble because Joe Morrissey, who at the time was the city attorney, I guess, tried to close us down, and all it did was gave us great advertising, and so the shows were even more heavily trafficked after that. So thank you, Joe. That was good.
think that 1708 has lasted for 40 years due to any number of factors, not least of which is the strength of Richmond's art community and artist community. And I think that the founding 17 members and the fact that their legacy and involvement continues to, obviously right now, speaks to the collaborative spirit of that community and the fact that there's a lot of love for one another. We've continued to be the only nonprofit of this size that really supports artists, and to the initial impulse of giving young artists a space and an opportunity, we've held that really close to this day and have really worked hard with supporters and artists and audience members to continue to provide literal resources to artists that they might not get in other places, and those are financial resources and organizational resources. And we've just tried to listen to what artists need and be true to that. One of the things that we try to pay attention to that I think speaks to the vibrancy of the Richmond arts community is how many students are choosing to stick around Richmond and call it home or move here. And that, I mean, I feel like that number increases every year, and that to me is a real sign that the arts community is just, to your word, is exploding, and that Richmond's a viable place to make serious art and be experimental and adventurous and find the support to do that. And it's exciting to see that continue to develop and thrive.
And I will say the other thing about 1708, it has a reputation that's national. People coming out of art school or coming out just becoming professionals, and this is a real place where they can jumpstart a career, and that's been really important. It's interesting, in my other roles as a professional, I've looked through people's resumes, and I'm so often surprised and elated to see that people have 1708 was one of their first exhibitions where they actually got a jump start into the professional world. If you look around what's happening between the Virginia Museum, the Modeling Center, 1708, the new Institute for Contemporary Art, the Anderson Gallery, all the galleries down in Manchester now, and the art centers there, and up West Main Street, and
Just the public art things going on around town, like the mural projects and all that. It's just, I'm glad I stayed.
Some background on the Gutierrez mentioned in the story. In 1990, a painting of 3 nude men by New York artist Carlos Gutierrez Solana was on the gallery's front window. The work signified 3 of his close friends who died from AIDS and the intolerance to the disease. The painting caused a controversy and was covered up by the Richmond Arts Council. Gutierrez Solana took it to court. A federal judge ruled the art was not obscene and barred the state from prosecuting the gallery. We also want to note that in the story is a feature exhibit titled Yo Bruce, which shows the works by late founding member Gerald Donato and his former student Bruce Wilhelm. For more information about the gallery, visit 1708gallery.org. Acupuncture has been used to treat chronic pain for thousands of years, and a specialized group therapy that involves placing needles in the ears has made its way to Richmond's McGuire VA Medical Center. For this week's Currents in the Community, I went there to see how it's helping veterans boost their body, mind, and spirit.
The music is playing, it reduces the stress in the room, and so I'm able to relax and enjoy the moments of just sitting there with the pain diminishing and enjoying the acupuncture.
This is a treatment that's known as the NADA protocol. NADA stands for the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association. It's very helpful for people in trauma. It's helpful for veterans with PTSD. Chronic pain tends to activate that sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight part of the nervous system. Most of the patients who come into our clinic have sort of a jacked up nervous system. They aren't sleeping well because of their pain. So it allows patients to come in and get an easy, rather quick treatment that helps to calm their nerves, helps them to sleep better. Then they're more prepared for learning the skills that we're teaching. We're teaching mindfulness meditation, Qigong, Tai Chi, teaching them biofeedback, which helps also to calm the nervous system. So all of these skills are difficult to learn if you're really in significant pain and you're not sleeping well and whatnot.
I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, and chronic pain. I experienced a traumatic event that I'm still not comfortable with talking about. This was back in the early 80s. I had got to the point where the depression, like I said, had me isolated. I was withdrawn. The experience here at the VA with the ear acupuncture and with the doctors and the fellow veterans has been enlightening.
When you're in that group environment too, you're sharing all of that positive energy. That's part of the equation for getting to a healthier self too, being around folks who've walked your same path.
You are exactly right. That is part of the healing process. Difficult though it may be, I find the group environment is starting to be one of the greatest assets.
There's been a couple instances where I would come in, I'll be hurting somewhere. I got pains all over me. And I would come in, and by the end of it, it was like it's gone or it's calmed down to a point where I barely notice it.
People sometimes are afraid of needles. Does it hurt?
Yeah, a little. It's a little bee sting.
Yeah.
But once it's in, I don't feel it. You know what to expect after the first trip. And so you just relax and it happens and you just sit there or lie there now.
Sometimes you start meditating. Wow, this is the only time I've actually been able to calm down and quiet my mind. And sometimes you actually end up sleeping.
It's what makes my job so rewarding is seeing the results from patients. Seeing people calm down, it's remarkable, really.
It focuses me. It allows me to organize the chaos that's inside my mind. And it creates a tremendous feeling of hope. And hope is crucial for a person like me right now.
This ear procedure for relaxation and pain relief is available at acupuncture clinics across Virginia. At McGuire, it's offered at the Veterans Integrated Pain Center. You can find out more information about it by searching online for McGuire VIP. The center practitioners teach a variety of techniques to veterans so they can be empowered to break the cycle of chronic pain. Besides those listed on the screen, they also teach Feldenkrais, a gentle movement that helps to ease pain, a procedure we will feature in an upcoming episode.
Feldenkrais is a gentle movement to create awareness that people can use for improving their stability, their flexibility, reducing their pain, and just generally overall improving their lives. As you do these small movements, you begin to find yourself, to find what parts of you move and what parts are difficult, and then you begin to see options. Maybe I don't have to, for example, reach this way to get something. I could go this way and get there easier.
Do you ever feel like your phone or smart home device is spying on you? For example, one morning you might be telling a friend you need a new bed, and then that night an ad for mattresses pops up on your web browser. It is very eerie. Can your smart devices be listening in? That's a question we're posing to Joseph DePlato, the CTO of Bluestone Analytics, a cybersecurity company based in Charlottesville. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your company. What exactly do you do?
So Bluestone helps businesses with their cybersecurity architecture. We offer penetration testing, incident response, managed detection and response, and virtual CISO, which is the Chief Information Security Officer. We essentially will take ownership of all the security controls of an organization so that they don't need to worry about it.
And we are all familiar now with Siri or other voice-based command systems. And tell us about that. Are they listening in, and are they able to manipulate when those pop-ups come up on our browsers?
So yes, they are. They absolutely listen in, and they're looking for specific keywords so that they can then turn around and sell those to advertisers, so advertisers can target you with their marketing, so you become part of a targeted marketing. So if you're home and you're talking about, let's say, motorcycles, you might start receiving ads for motorcycles because Siri or Alexa or Echo has picked up that on that specific keyword.
And social media too, we've been talking about that. I mean, Facebook, there have been all of these relationships that have been built that they are getting that information from us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Facebook just recently made the news a couple months ago, if you recall, with the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where one of their data sharing companies was using that data and siphoning that data for targeted election monitoring, let's call it. What we found out when Facebook testified before Congress was that not only was that occurring, but they had data sharing agreements in place with a number of other device manufacturers, and they were not policing or monitoring what those manufacturers were doing with that data, meaning that all of your Facebook data could have been compromised by any one of those organizations.
You mentioned Echo and also Alexa, very popular out there, also Google Home. How can we prevent them from listening in and then sharing that information with advertisers?
Not having them in your home. But at the end of the day, it's, do you want to sacrifice your privacy for convenience? Yeah, that's really the only way to do it. And it gets scarier too. Videos that you upload to social media can also affect your advertising. For example, my wife recently uploaded something to Instagram, a video that she had made, and she mentioned adoption in the video, and within a couple of hours she was receiving ads on her phone for adoption agencies. And how do you respond to this sort of scenario? This happened to me personally. I was going somewhere, I did not use Google Maps, I went to a jewelry store to have a ring repaired. There about 20 minutes, again, never used Google Maps, and then later that afternoon, a ring advertisement pops up. How do you respond to that? How did something like that happen when there was no use of Google Maps in that scenario? It's location services on your phone. So location services are always turned on, and based on the apps that are on your phone, they will leverage and use that data and sell that data to advertisers. So more than likely, one of the apps on your phone is syncing your location services to some advertiser, and they saw that you visited a location that was selling rings. How do you know how quickly it's happening and which app is actually using that information? That turnaround was so fast. So how do we know what is actually taking our information? So both iOS and Android offer the ability to go through and look and see what apps are doing. Android specifically allows you to allow or disallow certain functions within apps, but the consumer has to be technical enough to actually dig down into the settings of each individual app on their phone. Most people, when they install apps, they simply click accept, next, and they're good to go. They don't actually read through the terms of service or user agreement to see what the application is actually siphoning from their phone. So how do we prevent all of this information from being shared? Is there any way that we can stop being bombarded with this each and every day? So there's a number of ways that they are getting this information. The first is your ISP, or information service provider. So that could be your local internet, Comcast, Verizon, whatever it may be. Next is your cellular carrier, AT&T, Verizon. All of those organizations can monitor and look at the traffic that's coming off of your phone and then turn around and sell that data to advertisers. So the first thing you should do is install what's called a virtual private network on your phone and on your home, so that all of the traffic that's going to and from your phone is encrypted, and those organizations cannot look or see what you're doing. Next is just being smart with social media. So ensuring that your privacy settings are set to the minimum, and to be perfectly frank, uninstalling apps that you don't need and not leveraging social media unless you really need to. As we become more dependent on these types of devices, such a timely conversation. Thank you so much for helping us to navigate. Thank you. For more information, you can visit the blog on your screen.
Virginia Currents is on the move to the Smithfield BBQ Classic. 50 teams from across the nation compete at the Richmond Raceway Complex to see who has the best lip-smacking barbecue. We even had the chance to hang out with barbecue legends like Sterling Ball from Big Papa Smokers and Virginia's own Tuffy Stone, who was inducted into the Barbecue Hall of Fame in 2018. Let's take a look at how competitors battle it out through smoke, sweat, and sauce.
Barbecue has really become a competition food sport. There's a lot of people in Virginia that cook barbecue for fun and for competition, which is what's happening here at the Smithfield BBQ Classic. But there's also a lot of people who have their restaurants and make a living making great barbecue, but certainly there's a much broader audience even of people who love to eat barbecue in Virginia.
I've been competing since 2013. I started off doing amateur backyard division, and I just want to see how I stack up this weekend against some of the best teams in the East Coast.
The Smithfield BBQ Classic is a very unique competition in the fact that it's a cost-controlled competition, and we actually provide all of the meat for the competitors. And by doing so, we can ensure that all of the competitors have the exact same quality and quantity of meat.
The idea behind this competition is that you bring the cost of competing in competition barbecue to make it more affordable to more homes, that everybody's cooking the same meat, so you level the playing field.
Some rib tips and trim.
That's for the cook.
And also a real key thing is the wealthier pitmasters can cook more meat. This is limiting how much meat they can cook, and that really, I think it shows who the better cook is.
6 pound of fry.
They say big thighs save lives.
That's what they say.
In competition barbecue, they're really looking, they call it the one bite challenge. So the judges that are here today literally will judge what they're presented in a box. It's a double-blind process, so they don't know who prepared that particular box that they're judging. And they're looking for appearance, taste, and tenderness. All of these cooks will cook many, many pieces of meat to get that best 6 pieces to put into the box.
I was telling my wife the other night that this is very eye-opening, the amount of effort and time and prep that goes into these type of processes, which when you're at home cooking, you go to the store, you buy some meat, you put it on the smoker, you eat it, right? There's a whole other level of preparation and process that goes in to making these contests, to be successful at these type of contests.
I always say barbecue is like the friendliest cuisine. It's a food that historically was family reunions and picnics and large gatherings of people. There's this common love for building a fire and trying to make great food.
I have this feeling that the world would be a much better place if people just sat down and had a big old plate of barbecue together.
If you think you have what it takes and would like to become the next barbecue champion, visit smokinwithsmithfield.com. For this week's Spotlight on Virginia Music, we return to Richmond's McGuire VA Medical Center. Music provides a powerful outlet to veterans, and it's available now both in and outside of exam rooms there. Board-certified neurologic music therapist Hope Kume leads regular drum circles and jam sessions. Musicians who've never played together before are encouraged to express themselves through rhythm and song, even recently performing in Washington, D.C. We'll leave you now with a look at their talents as they perform for us. Thanks for watching Virginia Currents. Join us next time for more inspiring stories. I'm Amy Lacey.
Major funding for Virginia Currents is provided by Patty and Bill Pusey. Additional support from Friends of Virginia Currents.